Hello everybody, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. Today's painting is inspired by a photo that I saw by jowishka.art. I will include that name in the description. And it's going to be another like abstract landscape. And this one really spoke to me because it's very monotoned, like it's lots of different shades of yellow, orange, and brown. And I like that. So I'm gonna try it out. So it looks like it's split into two sections here. So I'm gonna start with the top. Now, I'm gonna pull my palette over so you can see what I'm doing. It's so dirty, so I don't have a lot of room here to mix the colors I need, but I'm just grabbing some brown that I'm going to mix black into. Yeah. Actually, we're not going to start with that. Yes, we are. No, we're not. I don't know. Hold on. I gotta think about this. No, okay, we're not starting with brown. We're going to start with like a nude mixed with orange and yellow, something like that. So the exact colors don't matter because, like I said, this is a pretty like chromy, monochromy paint. I don't think monotone, not monochrome. What does monochrome mean? Where did I get that from? So yeah, I'm mixing just a bunch of random like nudes and yellows together. It doesn't matter really. And I'm gonna start at just above the halfway mark in landscape position. And this can be quite watered down. We're just kind of setting some color down. You can pick up some yellow and just, you know, plot yellow down in certain areas. Like I said, this is very abstract, so you're welcome to be very playful with your colors. So I just picked up some brown. Sort of like that. It's a little intense for me in some areas though, so I am gonna go in a little bit and pick some color up with my paintbrush and then dab it on a paper towel, rinse, dab, lift. Sort of like this. Now I want to make sure that before this dries, I pick up that original brown and black combo that I created. Maybe that's a little too black. And I'm extending it to the halfway mark. That's why I didn't paint this halfway, because I was still gonna paint like a horizon line. And I'm really tempted to make it straight, like totally straight, but this is an abstract painting, so it's not supposed to be totally straight. So this is gonna be like, you can make, oh my gosh, what the heck did I just do? That is not good, oh my. Okay, hold on. So yeah, I have to like heavily water my brush down here. Oh my gosh, and I just touched the horizon line in another spot too. This is not good, guys. Pay attention when you're doing this. I am going to just dry that so it cannot spread any further. Okay, crisis averted, I think. I just spread that out. Okay. There we go. I think we're okay now. No, this is gonna start spreading though. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're good. All is well. So I'm just applying some black or very dark brown to this bottom section because I'm trying to create the illusion that this horizon line is created by a bunch of like very dark trees in the distance. I don't like how it kind of all spread evenly upwards. That wasn't my intention. As nice as it looks, it's not really what I wanted. So I am going to interfere with that a little bit and pick up some color in random places. Maybe add in some more yellow in other places. Like, honestly, just feel free to play around with this, you know, make it your own. You don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing with the sky and whatnot. Just do your own thing. Kind of want a little bit of orange or pink or something in there. Like that. Okay. I'm going to darken that horizon again because that faded out quite a bit to a brown. Okay, so that'll do for now, I think. Like, you can just play around with it in the sky until you're satisfied with how yours looks. But I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, so we do want this horizon line at least to dry before we do the bottom portion because it's just gonna be sort of covered, and because this was wet earlier, I just don't want to risk it. So I'm gonna just quickly dry this with a hairdryer and then we can move on. This is mostly dry, so I'm going to move on to the bottom portion, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to tackle this. There's this path that kind of goes here somewhere like this. And let's see. I'm going to pick up some yellow because there's a lot of yellow that seems to be originating from this point here. And then it follows the contour of the path. Something like that. And I'm blending this out because it's not like the path itself is yellow. Like this whole area is that color. It's a little bit darker than what I painted it. It's more like that. And then it just spreads out into this very like pale grayish yellow. It's kind of hard to achieve what I'm trying to go for here. So I'm lifting off paint. Because it's very light, that yellow on that side and on this side. It's a little bit challenging to achieve the yellow that I want. This first layer isn't that important. I mean, it might be our only layer, but it's so, there's gonna be a few things painted over top, so you know, you don't have to be too nitpicky about it. But this path, at least on this side, it really does follow the contour of the path, the yellow. But I just don't want it to be this intense. Like this is really a lot. So switching to a smaller brush, size 1, and I want to pick up some brown here because there are these lines, I guess you could call them perspective lines. I don't know what they are, like farm field or something. I'm really not great at perspective drawing. Like drawing something to show perspective. Looks something like that. We can go over that later. And then there is quite a bit of brown here, and that brown very much extends to the contour of the path. So you do want to work while this part is wet, because you want, it is abstract, it's supposed to be a very abstract painting. Sometimes these work out for me and sometimes they don't, and I'm not really getting a good feeling about this one. Too much here. It's tricky. I don't like how it blends out like that. It's very furry looking. And I don't know if that's just my cotton paper in particular. Then it turns very, like this very warm brown. It's just hard to achieve that when this stuff spreads everywhere. I've been using my finger a lot for paintings. Like, it's been very helpful in blending things out in a much more like, it's believe it or not softer than the paintbrush, because it gets exactly the texture I want without it kind of expanding and spreading like cotton candy. I'm not very good at abstract paintings. It's very hard for me to let go of the details and just let pigment go where it may. That is way too dark. See what I mean? Here it's spreading. I don't want it to. And there's just a lot of darkness over here on this side, which is what I'm trying to achieve with all this, like, okay. Switching to my size 1, and I'm gonna try to pick up more pigmented black, like more black, less water, because that means it will hopefully spread a lot less. Because I want it to still spread. I want it to blend in, but in a controlled way, not just wherever it feels like going. And that's how I feel, how I've been feeling with this lately, that it's just going wherever. And this path is very defined, like it has these black features that define the path, but in such an abstract way. I don't know how to explain it. And there's some white accents, which, I mean, we're only going to be able to achieve those with acrylic paint, like, for sure. Picking up some brown to soften this black a little bit. Because in the painting, it is more brown than it is black, but, you know, the brown, when it fades and spreads out, it doesn't carry the darkness that I feel that this painting carries, which is why I was using black. But Okay, we are getting somewhere with this. Feeling a little bit more confident. As the paper dries slowly, it's still holding enough moisture that I can, you know, paint these on without it being super harsh. Like, it still spreads out nicely. Whoops. Okay. There does seem to be some brown details over here as well, but this section has already dried mostly, so I'm hesitant to really add anything else over here. Maybe some like dotted sections just very lightly on top of those very faint lines that we painted earlier. Okay. So I am, you know, a little bit happy with this so far. I do want to add some intensity, but this is still a little bit too wet. It's going to spread too much. My hair dryer is broken, so I can't speed up the drying process. So I'm going to air dry this. So I'm taking very pigmented black. There's very little water on my paintbrush. Yeah, this isn't, it's too wet. It's too wet to achieve what I want to achieve with this, unfortunately. Darn. I'm basically just adding like black details on top of the brown ones. Just a tad bit. And I do want to add some like white acrylic paint grassy details. It's just hard to do that when my painting is still wet, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna have to wait for this to dry. So unfortunately, it looks like my phone ran out of room and just turned off, and I didn't realize while I was painting. All I did was I took white acrylic paint and just painted on with my quadruple zero brush these strands of grass. I painted on with black watercolor some birds in V and M shapes. So very simple. You guys seen me do that plenty of times in other tutorials. And I just painted on this little house with white acrylic paint and with brown mixed with black watercolor for the roof. Actually, you know what? I'll just do another one, because the other things are pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just paint another building and then you can see how I did it. So First I paint on a square. So again, I'm using white acrylic paint here. And then I paint a little triangular hat on top of it, kind of like a very juvenile house painting or drawing. And then a little rectangle next to it. I'm leaving just a tiny white, or a space there between the white, because then it kind of makes it look like there's a corner, which there is, or at least there's supposed to be. And then I'm taking black or brown watercolor, kind of mixing both here. And I'm painting a little hat on top for the roof that slopes down a little bit. And then I paint on the roof. And then slope it down like this. So super, super duper simple. Just like that. Now I'm kind of tempted to paint like a silo or something, some sort of structure. I don't know what this is gonna be. Oh, I could have painted a windmill. I guess that's what this is gonna be. I don't really know what a windmill looks like. I guess it's gonna look like this. Again, very abstract, like don't get caught up in the details. Because then when we zoom out, I wish I actually painted that windmill here somewhere, because it's weird that it's in between two houses, but you know. Perfect. So we can just peel that tape off. I think we're good with the painting. And that is basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this abstract, or what was meant to be an abstract tutorial. Let me know what you thought in the comments, or if you want to see more of these, make sure to hit like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.